So today we'll be doing registration, and we have, as already discussed, as far as registration is concerned, we saw that for input tax credit, you need to have a registration. Otherwise, you cannot take registration. That is why it says registration confirms the following advantages to the taxpayer. What are the advantages? A GST registered person is legally recognized as a supplier of goods. He is legally authorized to collect taxes from his customer and pass on the credit of the taxes paid on the goods and service supplied to the purchases. So only a legalized GST registered person will be able to pass on the input tax credit. Suppose you buy from somebody, that is what it's saying. He can claim input tax credit, that is for him. Similarly, he can pass on the input tax credit to others as output supply for him. Similarly, he can claim input tax credit pertaining to GST paid on inward supply and can utilize the same for payment of taxes due to outward supply. Just now we saw output supply, output tax, less input tax. This is your net liability. This is what he is supposed to pay. But if he is not registered, this you may not be able to claim it at all. Seamless flow of input tax credit from suppliers to recipient at the national level is what they have suggested, but there are a lot of issues. So therefore, registration is required mandatorily, but there are certain things that we need to understand. Whether everybody has to, that is where we come to who has to register under GST. GST is a tax which arises on supply of, as we say, supply of goods or services. Section 22 requires a supplier of goods and service should get registered, or it said registered. However, there are following points to be noted. What is it? When does it need a compulsory registration? It needs it when it exceeds a certain threshold. What is the threshold? What is that limit? Like, for example, income tax is beyond 2.5 lakhs, tax is there, right? Similarly, what is the threshold beyond which you need to go for compulsory? Very important this one, because a lot of people are not clear about it. If aggregate turnover of a financial year exceeds the threshold, registration is required on compulsory basis. But what is the threshold? That is, if a certain turnover, the aggregate turnover. So what is that turnover? Threshold limit, aggregate turnover in a state. So what is the aggregate turnover? We have to look at. There is a definition for that. We will look at it. In a state, union territory, other than special category state. So what is special category? This is special category state. So in a state or a union, in a state or a union territory is 20 lakhs. Then there is a need for registration. There is a need for registration, but there are certain notes that is there. There is a note. With effect from April 1st, registration is not required in the case of a person who is engaged in exclusive supply of goods and whose aggregate turnover in the financial year does not exceed 40 lakhs if certain conditions are satisfied. So further there are certain conditions. Then this limit has been increased to 40 lakhs. Mind you, for you this is what is applicable. Be careful, because it is April 1st, 2019. So what are the conditions? We'll see it later. In other cases, that is special category cases, the aggregate turnover for the special category, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. It is not the special category state we saw somewhere else. This is different. Only in these 4 states, it is reduced turnover of 10 lakhs, northeastern states. Now, prior to that is from what date? Just see. From what date? From April 2000, sorry, February 2019. From February 2019, these special category states prior to that date. See, Arunachal, Assam, Himachal, Manipur is already there. Meghalaya, again, not there. Earlier it was there. Mizoram is already there. Nagaland is already there. Sikkim, not there now. So Tripura and Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is not there. So that means out of this, this is still existing. This is still existing. This is still existing. And Tripura. So only 4 are left. Rest they have removed, which means they have a higher limit of exemption. That means they don't have to register. For these states, they have kept it low. Now, what is the reason? I have no idea. Apart from that, voluntary registration. This is compulsory. Voluntary small businesses having average aggregate turnover below the above limit can, however, go for voluntary registration under Section 253. So, if they even they don't cross, doesn't mean they cannot take registration. That's they can take registration. That is called voluntary registration. Now, let us see what is aggregate turnover. What is aggregate turnover in a state? Aggregate turnover in a state. Aggregate, very careful. These are all definitions that are very, very important. And exam also they will ask. They'll give an example and say whether a registration is required. So aggregate turnover means aggregate value of all taxable supplies that I can understand. Exempt supplies. Now something is marked there, so we'll see that. Export of goods, interstate supplies, all supplies made by taxable person, whether on his own account or made on behalf of his principals, these supplies shall be returned for all units branches of the taxpayer having the same personal account number, PAN number. An aggregate turnover is computed on an all India basis. See, when we read aggregate turnover in a state, be careful. This is for the purpose of aggregate turnover. This is all India basis, not state wise. There is no state wise. If you have all over India branches, total is what should not exceed. However, the aggregate value does not exceed value of inward supplies under reverse charge, which I discussed just now. GST, whatever the GST, we should not include. Supply of goods after completion of job work by a registered job worker shall be treated as supply of the goods by the principal, and the value of such goods shall not be included in the aggregate turnover. So, for a job work person, the value will be considered as part of the principal, not for the job work fellow. So, these are very important, but let us see what is marked here: exempt supplies. See, exempt supply, sorry, exempt supply exempt supply means any supply which attracts nil rate, which attracts nil rate of GST, or which may wholly be exempt from tax exemption notification and includes non-taxable supply, petroleum goods, petrol, high speed, etc. See, I have got a client, for them I am filing a GST return. There, these are petrol pump. Now they, right at the beginning, they asked me this question that, sir, my taxable supply is only 2.5 lakhs in a year, whereas the that is sale of petrol, etc., that is 20 crores. Should I take registration? The answer is, when you calculate aggregate value of turnover, it is both put together, because this is exempted turnover and you have to add exempted turnover. Therefore, it is 22.5 crores. Therefore, naturally, registration, I am filing. I am filing the return every month. Every month I am filing the return. Though there is no tax on this, still it is being filed. So these are things that we had to dwell on right at the beginning when GST started, because all these doubts were there at that point of time. Now let us look at persons not liable for registration. The following persons are not liable for registration even if the aggregate exempts, even if the aggregate is more than threshold limit, when they are engaged only in exempt supplies. So what this gentleman could have done is keep the taxable supply in a separate firm and keep only petrol pump in one. So that petrol pump only need not have taken registration. This they have to take registration. They could have done. They don't ask. We don't discuss also. They ask, we can tell them. So they can keep two. Only this one there is a need of registration. The other one will not be required. But sometimes it's not possible because you have an agreement with the oil companies, so Indian Oil and things like that. So they may not allow that so type of two registrations. The registration itself to get it is a very difficult thing. A person who is engaged exclusively in the business of supplying goods and service that are not liable to GST or wholly exempt from GST, we have already seen what is exempt, is not required to get registration. Now let us look at some examples. Because this registration, if you understand, that is true. There are other registration when it's required. I may not go into detail. Okay. Venus, read this first one, case one.
X is a salaried employee, salary income being rupees 90 lakhs. Besides, he owns a residential property which is let out for residential purposes, annual rent being rupees 40 lakhs. In this case, aggregate turnover is rupees 40 lakhs. However, registration is not required as he is exclusively engaged in making expense supplies. Service by an employee is neither the supply of services. Services by way of renting a residential dwelling for use as residence is exempt. See exemption notification entry 12.
12.
Since X does not make any taxable supply of goods or services, he is not liable for registration.
So both this one again is under schedule 3, no supply, and this one is exempt. So both put together is doing only exempt supply. So there's not, it's also not, it is not taxable. It's totally exclusive in making exempt supply. Therefore, registration is not required. Next, uh, Maria, read the next one.
Case 2. Why a chartered accountant is tax head of A Limited, salary income being 95 lakhs. He owns a residential property which is let out for residential purposes, annual rent being rupees 45 lakhs. Besides, he gives tax consultancy on part-time basis, annual consultancy income being rupees 10,000. In this case, aggregate turnover is rupees 45 lakh 10,000. It is calculated by taking into consideration taxable supply, that is rupees 10,000, and exempt supply rupees 45 lakhs. Salary income is not a part of aggregate consideration, as service by an employee is neither treated as supply nor goods or service nor goods supply of goods nor or goods or supply of services. Since aggregate turnover is more than 20 lakhs, GST registration is required even if valuable value of taxable supply is only rupees 10,000.
See, that's the problem. Just because of the 10,000 rupees, he has to take the registration. Independently, this is not taxable. This is not at all coming into the picture. This is not required. But 45 lakhs, yes, it is exempt under notification. So this is out in schedule 3. Now see the difference. This is by notification. Exemptions, Viksha, it is through the exemptions. Therefore, this will be considered exempt income. Still, there's so many people who don't know. We can't understand this. So complicated it is. And this one is 10,000. Just because 10,000 come, this is added, and it's more than 40 lakhs or 20 lakhs or whatever, it gets taxed. Okay, next. Aparna, read the next one.
Case 3. Said is a retired person. He gets he gets pension of rupees 40,000 per month. Besides, he has fixed deposit in a few bank and annual interest from these deposit in rupees 19,99,600. Occasionally, he provides consultancy in flower decorations, annual receipts being rupees 500. In this case, aggregate turnover is rupees 20 lakh 100, that is bank interest of rupees 19 lakh 99,600 plus consultancy income of rupees 500. Pension income is not from supply of goods or service. Interest on deposit is not subject to GST, but it is included in aggregate turnover. Since aggregate turnover is more than 20 lakh, GST registration is required.
Right. So be careful. These are things that you have to be careful. Because, sir, 40 lakhs, because these are not goods. Goods only you get 40 lakhs. Here these are services. Therefore, Service is 20 lakhs limit only. Let us see further what is the next step. Agriculture is 21, 23, 1B. Agriculture is not liable for registration to the extent of surplus. Further, some exemptions are there. That's what we are looking at. So, an agriculture, be careful. They will ask something question like this only. An agriculturist is not liable for registration to the extent of supply of produce out of cultivation or not. Agricultural means an individual HUF who undertakes cultivation of land by own labor, by labor of family, by servants on wages payable in cash or in kind, or by hired labor under personal supervision or personal supervision of any member of the family. Only then he is an agriculturalist, and agriculturalist is not required to take registration. Engaged only in making taxable supplies, GST on which is payable by the recipient on reverse charge. For example, an advocate, as I just now discussed, he is only he is engaged in making taxable supplies, but he is coming under reverse charge. Therefore, no need for him to take registration because the recipient of service will be doing the reverse charge. If the person engaged in making only taxable supply, GST on which is liable to be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient, registration is not required. The aggregate turnover is more than threshold limit of 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Because these are all, we are talking about service, therefore the limit is only 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs. Similarly, this is the saying. B, an advocate, this one we saw, provides legal service to Tata Chemicals, annual receipt of consultancy 35 lakhs. He does not have any other income. In the aggregate turnover is 20 lakhs, more than 10 lakhs. However, registration is not required as B is only engaged in providing legal service, GST on which is payable by Tata Chemicals as the recipient of supply under reverse charge. So this is what I discussed some time back. So reverse charge it is being applicable, therefore he doesn't have to take this. But let us see another example. C is an advocate. He provides legal services to Tata Chemicals, annual receipt is 35 lakhs. Besides, his rental income is 500 from letting out of commercial property. He does not have any other income. In this case, aggregate turnover is 35 lakh 500. Registration is required. See the danger. C is not exclusively engaged in making taxable supply. GST on which reverse charge is applicable. If he was doing only that, there's no problem. But he has got some other income, therefore he is supposed to do the registration. And apart from providing labor service, he's also engaged in renting a movable property. Therefore, reverse charge will not be applicable. He'll have to take registration. That's why be careful with these. Look at your material properly and go through the problems and example given. They may sometimes pick up the example from your material. Now we look at what that 40 lakhs is there. That is, if the turnover, when will you get that extra benefit of 20 lakhs for registration? That is, normal cases 20 lakhs, right? And 10 lakhs. Here in some cases, they have got an increased limit of 40 lakhs as the limit, beyond which only you need to register. What are those cases? That is 23.2. If the following conditions are satisfied, registration is not required with effect from April 1st, 2019. Mind you, April 1st only it's come by virtue of notification number 10 bar 2019 on March 7, 2019. What are the conditions? So many conditions are. Number one, engaged in supply of goods only, which means a person who is engaged in supply of service will not be available. He will not be, the person is engaged only in supply of goods. A person who's supplying service will not be getting the benefit. Aggregate turnover is up to 40 lakhs. Aggregate turnover of a said person in the financial year does not exceed 40 lakhs. Compulsory registration is not required. I still have a feeling that there is something that they have done some, still correction, but I'm not too sure. I want to talk about it. The aforesaid person is not required to take compulsory registration under Section 24. For instance, the aforesaid person is engaged in interstate supply, mind you. registration is required under section 24, even if the aggregate turnover is not more than 40 lakhs. That means a person not required to take compulsory registration. Normally, compulsory registration, if it is applicable, this will not work. If he is engaged in compulsory, I mean, interstate, we saw that he has to take registration. Therefore, he should not be somebody who is doing interstate supply, because that will automatically get attracted to compulsory registration. Then this will not be applicable. Not engage in supply of certain goods. Further, he should not be engaged in certain sin goods. They are called sin goods. Sin goods. Ice cream. I don't know whether ice cream is a sin good, but anyway, other than edible ice, pan masala, tobacco products, manufacture of some substitutes. Not engage in making intrastate supply in certain states. Again, that is also another thing. The aforesaid person is not engaged in making intrastate supplies in the state of Arunachal, Manipur, Meghalaya, and all that. So there also it will not be available. So there also still it is continued as, in these places still it continues as the lower limit of 20 lakhs. Not opted for voluntary registration. If he has not wanted, he can see, even though he knows about it, for some reason he's saying, no, I will take, I have got certain clients who are still going for their limit, their turnover is below 20 lakhs, but they're saying, no, we will, continue to take voluntary registration and we will do it. So let us look at a few examples and then, wait 1 second. Yeah. So case 1, Venus, read it.
X Limited, incorporated on February 26, 2019, is engaged in manufacture of garments in Ludhiana.
So mind you,
Turnover of
February
X Limited,
26th, February 26th. Next.
turnover,
Uh,
turnover of X Limited for the period ending on March 31st, 2019 is rupees 6 lakhs. Its turnover for the financial year 2019-20 is rupees 40 lakhs. No interstate supply. In this case, the above conditions given by notification number 10/2019 dated March 7, 2019 are satisfied. Registration is therefore not required under GST.
so 1 second. I just want to go back to what we discussed. In a financial year. So in that particular year is only what you are checking, right? Okay. Maria, next one. Case 2.
Case 2. Y is engaged in supply of taxable goods and taxable supply of services. His turnover for the financial year 2019-20 is rupees 38 lakhs. Supply of goods rupees 18 lakhs. Supply of services rupees 20 lakhs. In this case, Y is not exclusively engaged in supply of goods. Threshold limit for registration in this case is rupees 20 lakhs, not rupees 40 lakhs as given by notification number 10/2019 dated March 7, 2019. Registration therefore is required.
Because 20 lakhs is the limit and he's crossing that. It's 38 total. Aparna, next one.
It is engaged in sale of taxable goods and excise goods. Turnover of the financial year 2019-20 is rupees 9 lakh taxable goods plus rupees 10 lakhs excise goods. He owns a residential house property which is let out for residential purpose. Annual rent being rupees 4 lakhs. In this case, the aggregate turnover is rupees 23 lakhs.
23
Threshold
lakhs is,
limit for registration
23
is
lakh.
rupees 20
Wait,
lakh.
wait. 9 lakhs plus 10 lakh, 19 lakhs plus 4 lakhs is, what is 23 lakhs? Right? Okay. Read.
Threshold limit registration is 20 lakh. Threshold limit of rupees 40 lakh is as given by the aforesaid notification number 10 per 2019 dated March 7, 2019 is not applicable. The said is not exclusively engaged in supply of goods. Therefore, registration is required.
Because this property, residential property let out, is a service. Now you understand why Schedule 2 is important, because Schedule 2 defines certain cases where confusion is there, whether it is service or goods. Because these cases, this confusion will happen. Though we know it, but then still you have to be careful. This is why all those things are important. Yeah. Compulsory registration in few cases, even if the aggregate turnover is less than 20 lakhs. What are those cases? Interstate taxable supply of goods. Suppose he is making interstate supply, that is one state to another, say Kerala to Karnataka, then definitely he will not be eligible. He has to go for, even 20 lakhs is not applicable. It is, he has to, the moment he supplies interstate, he has to take registration. However, the following point should be noted. Person engaged in supply of handicrafts. What is handicraft and all is given. Making interstate supply have been exempted from exemption note, from registration. Exemption is applicable only. So therefore, if somebody is making handicrafts and sending it to outside, no need for registration. But there are certain conditions to it. What are those conditions? If the aggregate value of all supplies all India does not exceed 20 lakhs, it should not exceed 20 lakhs. If it exceeds, then anyway he has to do. They are required to have PAN. The persons are not required to obtain casual registration if the supply is outside the state where they have fixed establishment. So what is casual? I'm not getting into that fund. The person is engaged in interstate supply of services, registration is not required if aggregate turnover is not more than 20 lakhs. Even chartered accountants, what was the problem was, for chartered accountants, there was a confusion here because they may not have an aggregate turnover of 20 lakhs. But if they are doing bank audit for appointment is coming from Bombay or Mumbai, then whether it's an appointment, it's an interstate this thing, or statutory audit when we do yearly, it's an appointment from the head office, and we may have to bill to the head office. Therefore, it just for the transaction will become interstate transaction. Therefore, whether the limit is, we can claim the limit of 20 lakhs or not. There, that they have clarified, saying that in case engaged in interstate supply of service, registration is not required if aggregate turnover is not more than 20 lakhs. So if it is 20 lakhs anyway, you have to go. Similarly, job worker with turnover less than 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs is exempted from registration even if we make interstate supply to registered persons. However, this exemption is not available for jewelry, goldsmiths, silversmiths, etc. Avarku varithilla, baki everybody it is coming. Okay. Just we'll meet back at 8 o'clock. Just go through whatever we have done from your material, study material. Please just go through it.